All right, so we're speaking to a lot of leaders about the situation, but let's speak now to someone whose daily reality is life in Hammanskraal. I'm joined by social justice activist Dumizulu Nkwanyane. He's among those who've been at the forefront highlighting the water crisis there. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. For how long have you lived with water problems in Hammanskraal?
Good evening, Saline. Good evening to the viewers at home. I can go back as far as 2011 now, because if I jog my mind, my police company left Hammanskraal in being the company that is providing the water to Hammanskraal in 2011. Then the city of Tshwane took over of the plant. So I can go back as far as 2011 that we've been facing this challenge of water crisis in Hammanskraal.
And how does it play out? I mean, is it always that you just don't trust the quality of water that comes out of your taps, or is it also things like sewage backlogs and floods of sewage in streets? Give me a sense of where the water problems come and how they play out.
So, when I touch this topic, I get very emotional, because me, as being a resident who's living in Hammanskraal, on a daily basis, when I run my tap, I have to face the challenge of, having to face the stench rather that is coming out of the taps. When you run your tap, you are first faced with the smell that you have to face. When you brush your teeth, you have to take the water into your mouth, knowing that this water is not of good quality. When you have to boil the water to make a cup of tea, when you have to boil the water to prepare your food, it's a day-to-day basis challenge. One other thing, the main source, which is the Abyss River. The river has turned black, because of the challenge is rival wastewater plant, whereby raw human waste runs directly into the river. So it means now the Temba water plant, which is meant to purify the water, is unable to do its functions of purifying the water to supply the people from Hammanskraal.
I mean, that reality, those are the basics that we all should be able to just kind of take for granted, that we can brush our teeth without feeling nauseous from the smell of the water. It's just awful, and it's unacceptable. And this is dating back, you said, from your personal experience to 2011. Interesting hearing you explain the root of the problem. Very similar to what the mayor has told us. He's spoken about how the Rooiwal wastewater plant is upstream, that the waste flows into the Abyss River, and that's where the problem comes in, because then Temba has to purify that. So everyone seems to know what the problem is. Why do you think it's never been properly sorted out?
Sally, like I said, I get very emotional. I feel like I'm cheering now, because this is something that the authorities, they know where the problem is. Even the mayor, Klein Brank, when I don't know how many months has he been in office? A couple of months now. He knows where the problem is. Rooiwal, I've been there myself, with people like the former MMC of Utility Services, Mr. Abel Tabu. We know where the problem is. It looks like they don't have the political will to solve the problem. There are other things that I don't want to touch on television, which might put my life on risk. I think it's a political game. It's a battle between the DA and the ruling party, which is the ANC. They know where the problem is, but it seems like they don't have the will to solve the problem. But, when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. So these two elephants, which is the DA and the ANC, are currently fighting, and we are the grass on the ground. We are the ones who are suffering.
One thing the mayor said to me a little earlier was that last week, even before this cholera outbreak was confirmed to have led to 15 deaths, is that he's spoken to the water minister and said, look, we simply cannot afford, as the city, to pay for what needs to be done to Rooiwal to fix it. It's going to cost something in the region of 2.5 billion rand. And he's saying that national government needs to work with the city. That sounds like a good solution, because if everyone's working towards fixing the same problem, hopefully, there will be no more grass trampled. Do you think that's the right way to sort things out, or do you have a better idea?
Sally, I think the provincial government and the local government in Tshwane, they should, put their heads together. And I don't know, Treasury must just find the money. I don't know where they're going to find that 2 billion rands. But I think when Action SA held their water inquiry in 2021 November, if I'm not mistaken, they brought experts. Those experts have predicted that this could take only 6 months to resolve this issue, which the DA municipality, which took over in 2016 to date, they failed to come up with a solution. Me being a layman, an ordinary citizen, I'll say to them, this is what you guys should do. We have an MMC of utility. They visit in the city of Tshwane. They are qualified to come up with solutions. They have advisors. Who knows better than me? My weight against theirs is just a weight, that can come up with solutions. But they know where the problem is. I'm very disappointed to hear that the mayor says he knows where the problem is. Why can't they come up with a temporary solution? We are not far away from Soshanguve, Sally. Soshanguve is being supplied by rainwater. They could easily just shut the plant, the Royval plant and the timber plant, and connect from rainwater while they are busy fixing the Royval wastewater plant. Because, Sally, if you can just go to Royval and just walk around the Apis River, which is the main source for Hammanskraal, the stench there, Sally, you won't survive. If you have sinuses, you will come out there being very sick with blocked noses, because the river has turned black. The foam there, Sally, when the water is busy running down the river, there's foam. Even the animals that lives in the water, I don't think they're surviving there, Sally.
That's a whole different issue. That's, obviously we're so concerned about human life now, but the environment is taking a massive knock.
Exactly.
Dumizulu, one thing the Deputy Health Minister said is he's concerned that there might be more cases of cholera, maybe even more deaths that they haven't actually noted as cholera. From your sort of experience, obviously you work strongly with the community. We know there are 34 people in hospital with cholera in Jubilee Hospital, I think it is. We know 15 people have died. But anecdotally, are a lot more people in Hammanskraal currently sick with some form of tummy bug? I mean, you say the water's been a problem for a long time, but at this particular moment, are things quite bad when it comes to stomach bugs at the moment?
I can't really say I know, because I haven't been on the ground myself. I've been following the developing events through social media and radio and television. But Sally, I can tell you that now Hammanskraal is on the spotlight. But there are times where Hammanskraal is not on the spotlight. People. There are lives that goes unaccounted for on a daily basis. There are people who died at Jubilee Hospital, who went there with stomach cramps, stomach bugs. I can think the women who encounter miscarriages, they don't know what were the reasons. But through the water inquiry results that Action SA has done in the past, they found out that there are unaccounted lives that we've lost through the water. So also, Sally, I'm disappointed with authorities. I'm disappointed with the ministers, everyone who's involved, because this has been an ongoing issue. Did we have to wait until we have this outbreak to now say we are concerned about lives in Hammanskraal? This has been going on for a very long time. We've made enough noise. Myself, if we go on my Twitter account, it dates back from 2016, 17, 18 to date now. All the mayors, Solim Simanga, all of them, they knew what was the problem, but they failed to say, guys, we need help as the municipality, provincial government and national government. Please come and help us. People are dying here.
So it was interesting when I spoke to the mayor of Tshwane, and his car was stopped when he went to Jubilee Hospital. He was going to address that media briefing. And I asked him how it felt to have residents sort of yelling at him, saying, you shouldn't be here, you only come here now that there's a problem and that people have died. And he basically said that that was a small group of people who were sort of politically stirred up. But he did go on to say he does understand the anger and the frustration of people in Hammanskraal. I'm wondering, we're going for an election next year. Yes, of course, it's a national and provincial election, so it won't deal with local government specifically. But I'm wondering if the people of Hammanskraal are going to punish all the political parties involved in not acting on this issue come next year. What do you think?
Look, like I said, I'm going to mention this again. I went on Twitter and tried to seek his attention. And I asked him, Mr. Mayor, since you came in power, and rather in office, did you please make time and come to the ground to show your concern to the plight of the community of Hammanskraal? I even mentioned that the time you decide to come to Hammanskraal, you're going to receive a hostile welcome from the people of Hammanskraal. Myself, I'm not politically affiliated to any party, but I can say to you, I will have reacted the same way the people reacted when he arrived. Why now? All along, he had ample time to come to the ground and say to the people, I'm new as your mayor, guys. I know the challenges that you're facing. So coming to your question of elections next year, local and nationals, Hammanskraal currently has 9 wards. All these 9 wards are governed by the ANC, and the party running the municipality is the DA. Let's go back to 2016. The people were not happy with the ANC. They decided to vote in the DA. From 2016 to date, the DA hasn't brought any change or any hope to say, guys, these are the things that we promised that we're going to do for you in relation to the voter. So I can't really say that we're going to punish who or we're not going to punish who. We gave the DA the chance, they failed. We gave the ANC the chance prior to us voting out the ANC in Hammanskraal. So now it's a matter of who are we going to vote for, because even the second largest party in the country has failed the people of Hammanskraal. So it's a matter of we no longer know who to trust, because politicians tend to, come to us and promise us when it's time for elections. When we vote them into power, they continue to fail us and give us false hopes.
Yeah. And in the meantime, you have years and years of this awful water that you simply cannot trust coming from your taps. Let's hope that this will lead at least to interventions, so those lives lost so far not completely in vain. I want to thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Hammanskraal social justice activist Dumizulu Nkwanyane there.